cluster of 10 companies commit to following disclosure guidelines drawn up by the Financial Stability Board's Climate Risk Task Force. 10 major companies are to step up reporting of detailed information on the risks climate change pose to their business models within the next 3 years, under new pledges made today that could herald a sea change in business attitudes to climate-related disclosure. The 10 firms, which include retail giant Mark Spencer, Spanish energy provider Iberdrola, lead specialists Philips Lighting, and insurance major Aviva, have promised to adopt new climate risk guidelines set out this year by the Financial Stability Board's Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures (TCFD). It means the firms will start publicly releasing information on how their businesses will cope with the physical impacts of climate change, such as more extreme temperatures, rising sea levels, and disruption to weather patterns. But it will also see the businesses consider how vulnerable they are to climate-related financial disruption and market shocks, including the risks of stranded assets as market confidence in fossil fuel-reliant industries collapses in the face of stricter regulation and cheaper green technologies. Disclosing information about the material financial risks that climate change creates is critical for the stability of our financial system, Nicola Kim, head of Sustainability, Environment, Health, and Safety at Philips Lighting, said in a statement. At Philips Lighting, we recognize not only the risks that climate change is already creating, but also the wide economic opportunities that the low-carbon transition is creating. We believe that this initiative will help us identify further avenues for climate-related investments, and we are committed to disclosing material information for our investors and stakeholders. The TCFD was set up last year at the request of FSB Chair and Bank of England Governor Mark Carney, and was chaired by former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. The committee unveiled its final guidelines earlier this year. They are designed for use by companies across all sectors, with the aim of boosting climate-friendly investments and preparing the financial system for the impact of climate change on investment patterns and business models. Crucially, the guidelines recommend listed companies report on how they are prepared for a range of climate and decarbonization scenarios, in a bid to ensure investors can judge how resilient firms are to both physical climate impacts and potential changes to policies or market trends. Since the guidelines' release, 11 major banks have announced plans to become the first in the industry to put new international climate risk disclosure guidelines into practice. The 10 companies which today became the first businesses to commit to the guidelines are Aviva plc, Dutch multinational Royal DSM, Spanish energy company Enagás, Ferrovial, Iberdrola, Mark Spencer, Philips Lighting, IT consultancy Saab Prosteria Group, IT services firm Wipro Limited, MPR giant WPP. The announcement was made as part of Climate Week NIC, and orchestrated by the We Mean Business Coalition and the Climate Disclosure Standards Board. These companies have demonstrated their leadership by stepping up their efforts to disclose better quality information about their readiness to address risks associated with climate change, Simon Messenger, managing director of the Climate Disclosure Standards Board, said in a statement. The disclosure of consistent and comparable information about the physical and transitional climate risks will contribute to building more transparent and therefore more resilient financial markets, he continued. We will continue to help businesses understand and manage these risks, as well as tap into the economic opportunities that a new climate economy is already creating. All the companies said they would be reporting on the climate risks in line with the task force guidelines by 2020.